All right. Hi, everyone. I wanted to just kind of come on here and hop on to talk to my most recent experience with doTERRA and the co-impact sourcing trip that I had gone on. And that was the turmeric sourcing trip. So what we had done is we got into Ahmedabad, and from Ahmedabad we then took a drive up to Dimbi area, so through Saurashtra and headed up towards Dimbi. In Dimbi, there is a local hospital there where doTERRA facilitates some of the donations, some of the solar panels, and some new washrooms that are coming up for the public use. And that is a venture that they have done with their co-impact sourcing and their Healing Hands Foundation, and it is amazing. So we got to actually go out, meet with the local farmers, and I'm going to open up. So I actually got a chance to maybe sneak a little turmeric. Turmeric is grown like all over India. Pretty much everyone has it kind of in their backyards. But one of the things that was special about this was that it was doTERRA's turmeric, so where they're actually sourcing this beautiful essential oil from. The farmers that we met, the families, I'm going to share some images coming up with some of the farmers, their families, their wives, their children, that we all got an opportunity to meet. And I live in a village in India anyway, and that's kind of where it's nothing new in that sense, where meeting with like the local villagers, but it's always nice to see the impact that the products that you're working with creates in different people's lives, because we only went to a couple farmers fields where each farmer typically only has about an acre of land, where there's over 500 different farmers in that area that are all supplying turmeric. And one of the best things is it is 100% organic, natural farming turmeric. And one of the things that you're able to actually see and notice that and determine that it is like 100% organic is you'll see the earthworms. So as kids, you're always kind of playing with worms and stuff. This is where when you actually pulled out like the turmeric root, you're able to see like the live worms and stuff, where when you're using a lot of the chemicals and pesticides, you don't see Mother Nature in these plants. So that's one of the biggest things. And so when you actually pull out the turmeric, so these, I actually wrapped it up in the turmeric leaves. So that, like, these are a little bit, it's kind of a little damp still, but when you actually break this off, you're able to actually smell the turmeric as well from it. And with a turmeric root, when you are replanting, yes, you can plant these. However, each plant has a mother on it. So that was something new that I learned. And I actually have two little mothers here, and from one mother you can get quite a few turmerics out of it. And in addition to that, one mother then regenerates other mothers in that same plant. So it is absolutely amazing as to how the turmeric plant grows. And that's kind of where here, this one's a little bit damp, but I don't know if I really want to break it and see. But like this one, you can see it's a little bit old because it's been here a couple days. But if I break this in half, it smells so fresh. You can like see that orangey color. And we met with some of the doctors and the scientists that actually come out and do the research behind the turmeric, so that determine, okay, how much curcumin, how much tourmaline, what the percentages are, what actually makes it medicinally beneficial and therapeutically beneficial. And just down the road further, there were some farms that actually had blue and black turmeric. And that was probably the first time I'd ever heard of that. I don't know, comment below if that's something that you guys have heard of. But I didn't actually get a chance to see it. But along with this farming tour and the route that we took, one of the things was we got a bottle filled up with turmeric essential, and this is specifically for the co-impact sourcing, the labels. I don't know if you can see them, but the label that's there, and it's kind of like, it's fully sealed. I don't know if I want to even open it up. It's just kind of like memorabilia for the beautiful trip. And that's kind of where the fresh turmeric, along the route, they fed us so many goodies. So there was like a kala chana blend where it had fresh turmeric chopped up in it. Then they gifted us with a turmeric pickle, which is basically turmeric with some of the oil and some of the salt, and it's basically just pickled. My husband has pretty much eaten 3/4 of that jar. And they also gifted us with fresh turmeric powder. And it was such an amazing journey. So definitely something that if this speaks to you and you are looking to either give back to the farmers or give back to the community, doTERRA has their Healing Hands Foundation. Comment below, reach out to me. I would be more than happy to work with you and your NGOs to put something together to have doTERRA create a larger impact across the world. And it was so beautiful to see how this has changed these farmers' lives, because when we talk about farmers in India, there is a lot of disputes about pay, fair grade pay for them, making sure they're farming ethically, making sure that they're supported. So this is where with doTERRA, they're ensured that they're paid a fair trade value for each of the crops that they're growing, and doTERRA is constantly looking for more and more farmers to partner with for their co-impact sourcing. So that's for growing lemongrass, peppermint, geranium, turmeric, so many different areas. And that's where they want to be making sure that the areas that they're growing in are indigenous and that they are able to yield good crops as well. So that was the first thing that we met. The second day, or that night, later that night, we ended up going to the hospital in Timby. So it was about a 8-hour journey or so, stopping throughout some of the farms and everything that we got to go to. And once we reached Timby, we stayed at the hospital where they had quarters set aside for us. And this hospital that they had there was basically free for everyone, no matter how much money you had or how little money you had. They provided food, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anyone off the street could walk in, whether you were going to the hospital for medical care or not, meals would be provided, and they had a beautiful facility. So it was a great facility. I would love to have seen more alternative medicine at the facility, but the facility was there nonetheless. And one of the things that really spoke to me is that the deliveries that happened for the mothers was that each of the deliveries that happened, the mother was staying there after for postpartum with her little one. And in addition to that, the hospital would also provide food and nutrition for the mother for her postpartum period to ensure that her milk supply was good and everything was looking optimistic for them. So that was something that was like so beautiful and something that really spoke to me, especially with the work that I do with mothers during birth, postpartum, labor, everything. And that's where being supported in a community like that is so important. So that's one of the things. The other things were we went out, volunteered in the kitchen, helping serve meals. And that's something that I had my youngest son. He's 1.5 years with me. So he was like enjoying saying hi to all the little kids. But that's something where when you instill these things into your children at younger ages, it allows them to be more open to everything that's going on in the world, to show kindness, to be loving, to be caring, and to just be open-hearted. Because there's so many people in the world that are struggling, whether you know it or not. Everyone has their own internal struggles. Not as many people might be vocalizing them. So it's just kind of being compassionate and caring towards everyone in that aspect. Then we also helped with some of the toilets that they were building. So they were still under the construction phases. So just kind of moving some bricks, leveling some of the ground, and putting in some manual labor there. So that was always good and always appreciated. So that kind of recaps my whole trip with doTERRA's co-impact sourcing. And for me, that trip was fully paid for by doTERRA, which was a blessing, where anyone can kind of join any of these trips. But when you're able to earn it and it's fully paid for by reaching certain ranks or having a certain number of enrollments with doTERRA, it's always nicer. So if that is something that speaks to you as well, and you would like to be a part of the doTERRA community and Team Heal, I would love to have you on our team, and I will put my contact details below as to how you can reach out to me to join our team. So I think that kind of recaps the whole trip and the experience that I had. So the next trip that I'm hoping to go on is going to be Sri Lanka for the cinnamon farms. And I hope to have a little recap for you guys there. So I hope you guys enjoy the pictures that I'm going to be sharing up next with all of the adventures that we had. Thanks.